Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the West Ham Voice. And I've got a lovely young man, special guest here, John Virgil from Claret and Booze. Hello, mate. How are you? Thank you for joining me. Such last minute stuff.
No worries, mate. No worries. I'm still. As I said before we came on, I still feel a bit. I've almost got a hangover. I feel like
Yeah,
I'm punch drunk. I'm just exhausted mentally, physically. I just can't get over it. And then any time I watch anything to do with it, like your introduction there, it sort of gives me the goosebumps all over again.
that's why I
So
put it
it's
together,
amazing.
mate. That's why I put it together because
Yeah,
it's.
yeah,
I mean, I can't get over. I mean, we were both there last night,
yeah.
and I can't get over what I was watching. It was one of the. I mean, I'm old, and I've seen West Ham in good and bad times, but I don't think I've ever seen West Ham play. I'm sure there are others in the who are watching are going to say otherwise, but I don't think I've ever seen us play with so much passion and desire,
Mm.
and not one player put a foot wrong last night. Not one player
No,
put a foot wrong. You know,
no.
and like you, when we scored our first goal, I think I had a bit of a tear in my eye, and then when we won, oh mate, I mean, I mean, talk me through whilst we're waiting for the draw because Frank, we're
Yeah.
waiting for it. Apparently now it's going to be something like quarter past, where
12.
we've got the screen ready.
Yeah, it's about
And
12:30ish. I think it starts. Yeah.
right, okay. So whilst we're waiting for that to happen, mate,
Yeah.
talk me through last night
Well, I
in
mean,
your eyes.
in my eyes, I knew it was going to be special, and that was hit home by the fact that I walked to the stadium from where I park, and I walked past Pudding Mill Lane Station, DLR station, and me and my son was about half a mile from the station, and we could already hear the fans in full voice. So the sort of the cheerleading that the players needed was starting from before kickoff, and it was just building up to what was already an exciting special night for me. Got in the stadium, it was absolutely packed to the rafters. We got there about half an hour before kickoff. People were in the concourses drinking, everyone was in great spirits, and it just sort of hit home the magnitude of this game. It just absolutely magnified it. And I think even my son's had a season ticket at that stadium since we've moved. He's just turned 11, and I think he was like, wow, this is, he was a bit like sort of starstruck, I suppose. He was a bit overwhelmed with it all. We just couldn't believe it. So, yeah, I mean, look, it was just unbelievable already from the off.
I mean, these are games where we've got a couple of mates with their young lads in their sort of early 20s, etc.
Yeah,
And we were turning around to them and saying,
yeah,
never forget this day.
yeah,
Do not ever forget this day because we don't know what's going to happen with West
no,
Ham. It looks like we're on an upward path, on an upward trajectory, and long may it rain. But we're West Ham fans. We know that next season, not that I
mm,
think it will happen, but we know that next season we could easily be, sort of struggling near the bottom of the league again. So we were telling every youngster around us,
yeah,
just do not forget what you're
yeah.
watching because these days are few and far between. Few and
Oh,
far between.
massively. The guy in front of us, we're season ticket holders, and everyone around us is season ticket holders. And one of the guys in front of us, he doesn't really say much, but he turned around to my boy at the final whistle and he went to him, 52 years I've been waiting for something like this. Don't forget. Don't forget. He was right in his face, like, and my boy was a bit like, okay, I won't forget. But and I got a bit teary eyed with him telling him because it's so true, And this is what football's all about. This is what West Ham's all about. We know there's highs and lows, and the lows are more often than not at West Ham at the minute, in recent years, sorry. But you've got to embrace what we've got now. We can sit here moaning till the cows come home, and people accuse me of being too optimistic and too happy or happy clappy, but I'm not. I'm just a realist. It can fall away at any moment. I hope
Yeah,
it don't, and I don't think it
yeah,
will. But that's why you've got
yeah.
to. I mean, this season, look at the teams we've beaten this season. You know?
Well, this is it. I mean, every time you think Moyes is about to sort of, we've all done our owning. We've moaned about,
Yeah.
the transfer window. We've moaned about Moyes' tactics. We've moaned about an awful lot of stuff,
Mm.
and yet every time we think it's all going to fall away, he proves us wrong.
Mm.
And he brings out performances in the team that you just sort of look at yourself and you go, where on earth did that come from?
Yeah.
You know, how is that how is that possible? And last night was one of those moments. Last night was one of those performances where you look at, you know, Bowen is injured. We thought Antonio wasn't going to make it. We weren't sure about Creswell, whether he'd make it, etc. And he's patched up a team. He's got them out there, and he's given us, and they've given us a performance of a lifetime, haven't they?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
let,
think,
let,
I
let
think I
go
think
on, mate.
a lot of credit. Look, I know people are going to say, yeah, we don't, but I think generally a lot of people were becoming a little bit beleaguered, a little bit, you know, with Moyes, a little bit questioning him and all that. And I get it. You know, we're football fans, we're entitled to question it. But let's be honest, man. You know, let's be honest. 2 years ago, we were fighting relegation. And now, all right, it's no point talking about what was happening 2 years ago, but look how far we've come. Look how far we've come. We made the kings of the Europa League or the Europa Cup. We made them look ordinary.
We
Now,
did, didn't we? Yeah,
people can say they wasn't on it, they wasn't playing well, they didn't play well. Yesterday was their proper team. Yesterday was
yeah.
their full strength team. Who got pulled? Rakitic got pulled. Martial got pulled. El Nesri got pulled off. They all got taken off, and that says a lot for our team. You know, all 11 and the subs, the ones that made the difference, they all made a difference. Every one of them last night just embezzled what it is to be a Moyes player, I think.
And they made change. They made all 5 subs in
Yeah,
order to
yeah,
change the game.
yeah.
And it didn't happen for them. And Moyes, you know, I don't know if you, but we were sort of laughing at our side of the stadium and going, Moyes has only made 1 sub. You
Yeah,
know, when's he gonna when's he gonna wait to make the next one when someone like sort of collapses on the floor?
it's what it does. Look, we can question it all the time still, but he trusts the players he puts out on the
Trust
pitch,
them. Yeah.
and we've got to admire that. And you've got to think. I know it's difficult for the ones sitting on the bench and the ones not getting game time, like Crowell, like others, but the ones on the pitch, they must feel so special. They must feel almost untouchable. And you could say that's a bad thing, but in some ways, if he's giving them that utmost credit, that utmost respect, and that trust that he's giving them, then they're going to give him the same back. They're going to trust him implicitly and give their all for him. You know,
And they're gonna get that's it. They're gonna give their all, aren't they? They're gonna give their all. Yeah.
mm,
Right, we're still waiting
mm,
for the draw to start. So why don't we? We'll get back to
yeah,
the game later on. I know you guys are going to do your show tonight as well, so I'm sure you're going to talk an awful lot about the game last night, etc. So whilst we're waiting for that, let's just see who's in the chat. There's a young man called John Osborne who's who's in.
me. I was telling
Sean,
everyone.
good afternoon, Sean. I hope you're well. Graham, oi oi to you. I hope you're well. DA, hello, mate. Nice to see you here. Frank, how long to the draw? We're waiting, just like you. And as soon as it starts, we're going to keep you up to date. DA again, Yama's been a revelation. Maybe the Russians will invade Masuaku. And Gary's in the chat as well. So, whilst we're waiting for the draw, should we talk about a little bit about the opponents we might
Yeah,
end up facing? So, we'll start
yeah,
in
sure.
alphabetical order. And we've got, first of all, let's just take that comment off there. We'll start off with Atalanta, doing it in alphabetical order. Uh, just a little bit about them. Established in 1907, recent history. Gasparini has been in charge since around 2016. He's done an awful lot of integrating players from the youth system. So he has a bit of a Moyes-ism in him, in a way, where he trusts the young players. First season there, finished 4th with a decent 72 points. They qualified for the Europa League. In 2018-19, they finished 3rd in Serie A, and you know that's quite a difficult league to finish. You know they've got Milan and Juventus and all that sort of stuff, and they've had a modicum of
Mm,
success. You know, reached the quarterfinals of the Champions League. You know they finished quite high up in the league. They're currently sitting in 6th position in their league, and they're result last night. Atalanta, they beat Bayer Leverkusen, who's not a bad team. I mean, they beat them 4-2 on aggregate. So, and Leverkusen is no walkover. So, one to look out for, do you think?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think Atalanta have sort of become a team to be noticed in the last few years. You know, they sort of had a time in the wilderness somewhat, I think, in Italy, and I think obviously their guy coming in and bringing in some of the youth players and integrating them in, like you said, a little bit David Moyes-esque, I suppose. But yeah, they're no mugs. Like you said, you know, the Italian league is one of the strongest leagues in Europe, I believe, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So to constantly in recent times, you know, sit at the top or around the top spot, I think, you know, they're no mugs. But there's no mugs left in this side of the
No, there
competition.
isn't. Every team is there on merit, isn't it?
Exactly.
Let's have a look at a little bit of some of their players. They've got Ruslan Malinovsky, attacking midfielder with 9 goals this season. Mario Pasalic, you know, he knocks up a few. Zapata's injured, I believe, and
Yeah.
also Muriel, their other striker's injured. So they've got a small stadium, 21,000 seater stadium. So if we actually get that draw, there's not going to be an awful lot of tickets available, unfortunately.
You'll be there, though.
Honors.
You'll be there.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. You know, because when it's that low, the capacity is
Yeah.
that low, that we'll probably only get maybe a couple of thousand tickets at most, and it'll be an interesting one. But they've been they're honest. They don't, you know, Coppa Italia winners once, and Serie B when they were down in the second division, they won that 6 times. So they have been a bit of a yo-yo club, you
Yeah.
know. So they're an interesting side. I know we played them in pre-season, but you can't sort of account for that pre-season
Oh,
friendly,
yeah.
etc. But
I
they
mean,
looked quite an interesting
if
team.
you look at the capacity of their stadium, that's even more impressive how well they're doing, because obviously with such a small capacity, their revenue stream is, you know, small in comparison to a lot of the other teams, the Milan teams and all that. So to do consistently over the last few years how well they've been doing, I mean, he's obviously doing something right, the manager, you know.
Absolutely, absolutely. Tyler Leach, what an experience last night, mate. It was just out of this world, out of this world. Kimbo, hello, mate. Thank you for joining us. Gary reckons we'll do double over Atalanta. Atlanta in America? No, we're not playing them, Gary. But that's all right. I know you're a little bit older than me, so when your brother starts telling me I'm old and I ain't got it right, I'm gonna have a go at you as well. It's Atalanta, mate. We're still waiting for the draw to happen. So let's move on to in his again alphabetical order. This is the one everybody wants, isn't it?
Never heard of him.
Barcelona.
Never heard of him. Tell me a bit about them still. I've never heard of him.
Well, they're a bit of an average mid-table sort of team. They've hardly won a thing. No one really knows much about them. They don't get any decent players playing for them. You know, so nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about. Apart from the fact that in their long history, they've had some of the world's best players ever. I mean, you know, the list is endless. Rivaldo, Carlos Puyol, Samuel Eto'o,
Yeah.
Lionel Messi. You know, and I've even spelt Lionel Messi wrong. There you go. Johan Cruyff. I mean, you know, the list. They've got a history, haven't they, mate? I mean, they're not. We know that they're not doing so well at the moment. We know they're languishing in third place in La Liga at the moment. But you know, regardless, they're a formidable side. I mean, let's have a look and see how they finished. They beat Galatasaray in both legs. They beat them 2-1 over the 2 legs. You know, so that's not bad. They won that away from home. They did it the hard way. John, you've gone blank on me, so it's only me now. Oh, there he's back. He's back. Are you back? Are you back?
I'm back. Can you hear me?
I can. You're lagging a bit, mate. So,
All right.
are you there? Right, okay. I'll carry on. So Barcelona, you know, they are a formidable team. You know, they've got a great history, etc. Do we need to worry about them? I mean, you know, some of their players, you know, Jordi Alba, Gavi, Frank de Jong, Memphis Depay. He's in. You know, he was injured when I did this slide. I don't know if he is now. You know, they got Aubameyang from Arsenal. They got goals in them, haven't they? Capacity 99,000 seater stadium. I don't think we're going to have a problem getting tickets for that one somehow. And I mean, look at their record: the Liga winners 26 times, Copa del Rey 31 times, Champions League 5 times. I mean, it's just an incredible foray of honors. Um, he's still not 100% with us, so when he is, I'll get him back. Barcelona, it's everybody's tie, isn't it? That everybody it's a tie that everybody wants, really. Who else have we got in here? Gary, Barcelona, too, Bob. Yeah, if only they were. Um, let's see if he's back in. Are you back in, mate?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Sorry, mate.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
yeah, I
it's
can
all
hear
right,
you.
all good. So Barcelona. I mean, I know it's the dream tie. Would you rather have them now, get them out of the way, or would you rather have them in the final?
I genuinely, I don't really care. I genuinely don't really care who we get. With the Seville draw, we was all fearing the worst. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Probably the favourites or one of the favourites when we drew against them. I don't think many people gave us a hope in hell of beating them. I genuinely, at this stage, mate, I don't think it matters who you get. I wouldn't. I know we're going to talk about them in a minute, or you're going to talk about them in a minute. I wouldn't like to get Rangers at this stage because I think if we played someone like Rangers, like when England used to play Scotland, it's too similar. Everyone knows each other. There's a lot of similarities in the English and Scottish style of play. I'd want to avoid Rangers. I'd actually prefer Barcelona to Rangers, if I'm honest.
I get you. Would you prefer Rangers in the final, maybe? Would
Oh
that
yeah,
be
that'd
an
be
interesting
fantastic, Dave,
final?
wouldn't it? Imagine them. Imagine the Rangers fans. I mean, they're crackers. They're on a par with us the way they follow their team. So.
Yeah, that would be quite a unique experience. Right, let's have a look at the next team up. Braga. I'm waiting for this draw to start. I keep refreshing the screen and nothing's happening just yet. So let's have a look at Braga. Established 1921, Primeira Liga in Portugal, managed by Carlos Carvalhal. I can't pronounce it. Recent history: Braga being the most stable team in comparison to their past. In the early 2000s, they qualified for various European competitions. They've qualified for Champions League, but rarely made an impact in that. In the season 2019 1920, they went through 4 managers. So another team that's had a little bit of turmoil. But Caballao took over in 2020, where he led the club to League Cup final, where they lost. But then they won the Taça de Portugal, beating Benfica. On paper, they may be considered one of the less fancy teams in this competition. They're currently 4th in their league. Do you know much about them? I haven't really followed them, to be honest with you, John.
No, and when I was discussing it with my son this morning, I said out of all the teams I'd rather get, it's Braga, because on paper, like you say, they're probably one of the weaker teams. The Portuguese league, it isn't the best league. You've got the obvious teams, Sporting and Porto, etc. But again, I don't know enough about them, to be honest with you. Still, I really genuinely don't know enough about them. I don't watch a lot of Portuguese football at all. So, yes, you're probably right. They are the better draw if you were to choose for picking a weaker team that we could face. But
Let's see what they've won, or let's see their players. I mean, they got a young lad called Vitinha, who scored most of their goals this season. They got a couple of tricky wingers, Ricardo Horta, or Yuri Medeiros. They've got a few goals in them. They could be dark horses. I mean, they haven't really won much. I mentioned Taça de Portugal 3 times, Europa League runners up once, and Primeira League runners up. So they could be ones that you kind of may have to just keep an eye out for, really. Sorry, mate. I keep looking at my screen because I'm worried that we're going to miss the bloody draw.
yeah, I'm
Have you
doing
got
the
it? You got
same.
it
I'm
up?
trying to. I've got 3 different links up, but they're all still saying draw to come soon. So
That's what I've got. That's what I've got. So
you do worry.
we're going to bring it to you as soon as we can, without a doubt. Right. So let's
They're doing.
move.
Go on, still.
Go on,
Sorry.
mate.
They're doing both draws now, aren't they, for the quarters and the semis? I'm not sure if people know that.
They are doing the quarters, and so we're going to know not only who we're going to get in the next round, but we were going to get when we get to the semi-final as well.
exactly.
As up, the draw is coming up, mate. DA, anyone but Rangers. Good afternoon,
Yeah.
Gaza. I hope you're well. Thank you for joining, mate. Let's move on whilst we're waiting for this draw to happen. Next one on the list, again in alphabetical order, is Eintracht Frankfurt. What do you think of them, mate? Now, I'm actually quite surprised at their history. Good afternoon, Penny. Thank you for joining. Draw in about 2 minutes. Thank you for that, Sean. Much appreciated. Eintracht Frankfurt, current league position ninth. Now, I was expecting them to be up a lot higher. You know, they were one of the founding members of the Bundesliga. They're the seventh longest participating club in there, 51 seasons in all. But like a lot of teams in the Europa League, they too have had their ups and downs. I don't know what it is. I maybe because I got drawn in by the fact that we signed a player from them for £45 million, and they've had quite a number of very decent players, that I thought they were much more successful. You know, it was only like 10 years ago they got relegated for the fourth
Mm,
time
mm,
from the Bundesliga. They've only been German champions in the old league once. They've only won the Bundesliga once, and they're currently ninth.
mm.
What do you think, mate?
Yeah, I think they're perennial underachievers, aren't they? They're sort of like, like Middlesbrough used to always sort of be a mid-table finishing sort of team. I think that, and Villa as well, that they sort of diver around 9th, 10th, 11th spot in the Bundesliga. Like you said, they've been around a long time. They've got a long history in terms of their name, and obviously being one of the founder members of the German league. But yeah, surprising really that they haven't been more successful.
Yeah, and you look at their honours, as I mentioned, Bundesliga champions once, European Cup runners-up once, UEFA Cup winners once.
Yeah,
We've got a better sort of
yeah.
like, especially in Europe, we've won something, we've come runners-up as well. So I don't think there's anything to worry about, is there, with them?
No,
Maybe I
I
don't want to
don't.
be too, sort of cocky or anything, but I can't. They'll be tough. That German teams are not easy to play against. But again, I just don't think I'll be. I think I'm a bit like you. I fancy us against whoever it's going to be.
I genuinely do, mate. The players' tails are going to be up. We've beat Seville. We have beat Seville, who've made that cup their own since the turn of the century, almost. Yeah, it's always a bit of a running joke. The only thing I'd say about playing Frankfurt is I definitely would not be trying to go to the away leg if we got Frankfurt after the trouble we saw in Seville.
Yeah,
I don't think I'd even take it upon myself to look to go, because I'd like to take my son, and I wouldn't take him to that environment, because you could possibly see sort of like ramifications, some problems there. And that's the only thing I'd like to avoid them for, if I'm honest.
right. It's starting, people. So we're
Yes.
going to bring you up to date information. It's starting. Yeah, I think that's the only thing that's a little bit fearful, mate. You're absolutely
Mm,
right. It's
mm,
it's the massive concern about going out there, especially after what they did to the West Ham fans
yeah.
in Seville. And they're going to be spoiling for a fight, and that's going to be a real shame. Real
Yeah,
shame.
most definitely. And then you have all the problems with UEFA stepping in, and fines and possible bans and all this other stuff that comes along with it. So I'd like to take that possibility away, totally eradicate any chance of that happening. So for me, Rangers and Frankfurt, I would definitely want to avoid, not through fear of losing to them, but just because, of other reasons, really.
Yeah, I agree with you, and it would be such a shame to mar it.
Mm, exactly.
With crowd trouble. I mean, that would be horrendous. It'd be a horrible thing. Um, Right, it's coming up, people. There's an awful lot of chit chat going on, so let's just crack on. Next up, in alphabetical order, is Olympic Lyonnais. Now, one of the newest clubs around, only established in 1950. Um, it's had moderate success in the 60s, and then in 87 it was bought out by businessman Jean-Michel Aulas, aiming to make it one of the most successful clubs in French football in Europe. And then the following season, they qualified for the UEFA Cup, and in the new millennium, their success grew. And they've nurtured some excellent talents such as Michael Essien, Karim Benzema, and they won their first league title in 2002, as well as reaching the latter stages of European competitions, etc. So now they're currently 10th in the league.
Yeah.
And so another team that you kind of expect to be sort of quite big up there. But I mean, look, league winners. They won it 7 times in a row. League One winners.
Yeah.
Coupe de France, they won that 5 times. They won a lot of domestic trophies. But in regards to Europe, they've been semi-finalists in various European competitions, and they're not a bad team. They're not a bad team, but they're not doing that well this season. Capacity
No.
59,000, so that definitely will get a ticket for that. And they've got a few players there who've got goals in them. Moussa Dembele, we've heard an awful lot about. Carl Toko Ekambi, a tricky left winger. Lucas Paqueta, attacking midfielder. A team that maybe we should just be a little bit keep an eye on. There could be a very tricky affair.
Oh yeah,
Let's
most definitely. I think Dembele, since he's gone there from Celtic, I think his record something like 1 in 2. He's a fantastic talent, and I don't think he'll be there much longer. If I'm honest, they'll probably look to cash in on him, or he'll look to move. But they've also got Boateng. Do you remember Boateng, the German international? He's a good player. He's getting on a bit now.
He's a good player.
They've got, they've got a few good players, but like you said, they're sitting in 10th in the French league, and
which is odd.
The French. Well, it is very odd because listen, for all the good teams that are in France, it is a bit of a Mickey Mouse league. It's not the strongest league by any stretch of the imagination. So it's quite interesting how they're so low, really.
They're showing highlights of West Ham. They're showing highlights of various teams at the moment, and they're showing us. They showed the highlights from last night. Yeah. Oh man! Yeah. Oh, I'm so John, mate. I really am excited. I really am. Right, they're about to do the draw. So we've done Lyon, we've done Frankfurt. We've got a couple more teams to go through. They're welcoming people to do the draw. So let's do it quickly. Let's leave the best till last. So let's do it out of alphabetical order. RB Leipzig, they got a bye. I totally disagreed with that, but it is what it is. They got a bye in the last round. Another new club establishing, the very new club established in 2009, the Bundesliga. We know all about the Red Bull whole sort of setup, etc. And they're currently sitting 4th in their league, and they've done well, for a very new team, qualifying for Champions League, European football, etc., etc. So they're a formidable team, and they got a lot of good players, a lot of goals in them. Bundesliga runners-up, Cup runners-up, Champions League semi-finalists once, 47,000-seater stadium. What do you think of them, mate?
Yeah, I mean, we know how much financial clout they've got from Red Bull. So, they're very much, they left a bit of a bitter sweet taste in the rest of the German supporters' mouths. We know they're not very liked amongst other team supporters because of the way they've basically bought success, if you like. Considering they've only come around in 2009, but yeah, you would think it would be a hard game against them. It would be a tough game. But not being flippant, bring it on.
Bring it on, exactly.
The way they might have wings being sponsored by Red Bull, but after last night, our players have definitely got wings.
Right, one more team to talk about as they're introducing the people who are doing the draw. So let's do it quickly. Rangers. One of the most successful teams. I don't know who's more successful, Celtic or Rangers. I think they're on par. Currently second in the league, regularly qualifying for European football, Champions League and Europa League, etc., etc. A lot of people say, it'd be great to have this, domestic tie. 50,000-seater stadium at the Ibrox. Look, 55 times Premiership champions. 55 times. Scottish Cup winners 33 times. Cup winners Cup just the once. Bit like us. We've only just won it just the once as well. Players, Moreles, Roof, Sakala. I mean, they got goals in them as well. They're going to be buoyant. Look, when they got through a very, very, no one gave them much of a chance, did they? I mean, they won it with aplomb, 4-2. They got through.
And I think, listen, they've done Dortmund as well. The round before they did Dortmund comfortably. I know they didn't have Haaland, but they did them comfortably. We laugh at the Scottish League, and it is a Mickey Mouse league, hence 55 times they've won the league. You know, it's a little bit like a Championship Manager game. The Scottish League is very weak. We know that. However, you know, what they do have on their side is a fantastic fan base, and the fan base, like we were last night, their fans get right behind them. So, you know, it will be like a cauldron if we went there. You know, it would be a fantastic day, fantastic atmosphere. But again, I wouldn't want to draw them purely on the fact that it will be a chaotic. You can imagine the type of game it will be. It will be chaos. It will be, you know, most of their players are British born. If not, they've played in the English league, in the lower leagues. I think they're right back to Vernier. I think he's got about 20 goals this season. So with all due respect,
ridiculous. Yeah.
So with all due respect, that does show the standard of the Scottish League. However, you can't take away that they've knocked out 2 big European teams in the last 2 rounds.
They have. They've done it the hard way too.
Yeah,
you know, they've done it the hard way, and well deserved. Well deserved.
Exactly.
They're still talking, mate. But we've done all the teams. We talked about all the teams that are left in the league, in the tie. When we finish the draw, we will go and talk very briefly about the game again last night. Very briefly, not you know, nothing too in depth, and then we'll finish off. But like you, I'm just now, you know, waiting for this draw to be done.
Yeah, most definitely.
Let me ask you one more time. Who do you? I know you said I'll take anyone, but
listen, the glamour tie, the glamour game, the glamour tie is Barcelona, isn't it? Let's be totally honest, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And to be honest with you, they're not the Barcelona of old. They're nowhere near it. They're still a very, very good side. Of course they are, but we know their players. We know Traore. We know Aubameyang. You know, they've had a career in the Premier League. Are we fearful of them? I don't think we are, as we used to be. You know, we wouldn't. You know, listen, go back 10 years. I would not want to face them any day of the week. You know, because we'd get ripped a new one. And
going back 10 years, mate, we would only be dreaming of something like this.
Imagine. But I will say one thing. Imagine if we get Barcelona, Craig Dawson, who was sitting on the bench at Watford in the Championship.
We were laughing about this, weren't we?
We were laughing about it, weren't we? I love it.
Right.
I love it.
The draw is about to be made, people.
Cool.
I've got my heart is. Oh, here we go. Here's the first ball coming up. This is for the quarterfinals.
Yeah. Claudio Ranieri, the Tinker Man. Here we go. Oh, God.
Red Bull Leipzig.
Yeah, RB Leipzig. He looks like Claudio Ranieri, but it ain't. He looks at me. Jesus. Stop chatting about it. Just open up the next one.
Atalanta.
RB Leipzig, Atalanta. What are we doing in this draw alongside all these big bloody teams? What's going on here? It is a bit like that, though, isn't it? How did we get here? God, they talk a lot, man. My God.
Eintracht Frankfurt versus.
Let's see.
Barcelona.
Frankfurt, Barcelona. We're going to get Rangers, mate. There's 4 left. We're going to get bloody Rangers. I hope we get. I want to be away first.
Eintracht Frankfurt versus Barcelona.
I want to be away first leg, don't you? What would you rather have?
I want to be away first leg.
Yeah. Then you know what you got to do when you come back home, don't you? Frankfurt, Barcelona. Oh, wow. Braga's left. West Ham, Rangers, and Lyon.
Oh no! Here we go.
What is it?
We're at home. We're at home. First leg. We're at
Does that
home
mean we're at
first
home?
leg.
We're drawing like that. We're definitely at home, yeah.
We're at home first leg. Who's it going to be?
Rangers. You watch. You watch. Oh.
Fucking hell.
I can't even watch it. I've turned it off just to watch you. I don't
Olympic
want to watch it.
Lyonnais.
What?
It's Lyon.
We've got Lyon.
We got Lyon. West Ham United versus Lyon, people.
That's all right. That's all right. They're 10th in the French league. That's a great draw. That's a great draw. Yeah, Gary says great draw. That is. That means Rangers have got Braga, I'm guessing.
Yeah, but which way round?
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Rangers, I love this. Playing Braga.
Yeah, that's a good twice.
Braga. And they got them at home in the second round. Second leg.
Mm. But I'll tell you what, still, Lyon, any team that draws us now after what we did to Seville will be like, oh, bloody hell, that's a tough one.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, the respect for us has gone, has increased massively. We was an unknown quantity to some extent, and now they know what we're all about, especially beating Seville. Beat Lyon and your favourites. Wow.
I'm all right with that.
Yeah. It's not overly glamorous, is it? But it's a winnable.
I don't care. I'm all right with that. I think it's a tie. France is only around the corner. It's not going to be difficult for us to get there and all that sort of stuff. So I'm actually quite happy with that.
I was never going to be disappointed with anyone we got. Let's be honest, we're in the quarterfinal of Europe. So yeah, I think that's a good draw. I genuinely do. The only thing is, I do like playing at home second leg because you know what you got to do to win the game, win the tie. You know what I mean?
With that, I agree with you. Yeah.
But you got to do what you got to do. We'll definitely need a couple of goals. I think because they can score. They've got goal scorers in their team, as you said on your stats a minute ago. So are they going to do the semi-draw straight away? Yeah, still.
Yeah, they're doing it now.
They're doing it right now. Yeah. Semi-final draw coming up as well. Yeah, that's true. They're a good side. Somebody in the chat, there's a Rangers fan in the chat, and he said that Lyon caused them all sorts of problems. And yeah, they did. They did, to be fair. They're a good side, no getting away from it. Just funny where they are in their league.
So the quarter-final of the first one is Leipzig or Atalanta versus Braga or Rangers.
So that means we'll have Barcelona or Frankfurt in the semis if we get through.
We will.
Well,
again, home leg first.
the semi-finals will be two-legged, yeah, in your own grounds, yeah? They're not going to be like in a neutral venue, are they, or something? No.
Right, we're on for Eintracht or Barcelona, mate.
Yeah. Well, could be the final, Rangers West Ham final. Woo! Imagine that.
Right, let's just get this up so we can update you all, people. Just bear with us 1 second while I'm just updating this.
What's the capacity of Lyon Stadium? Did you say? They've got a 59,000 seater stadium. So how many? That's quite a good opportunity to get a ticket for Lyon.
Right, people. So this is the quarterfinals. Red Bull Leipzig versus Atalanta, Eintracht Frankfurt versus Barcelona, West Ham versus Lyon, Braga versus Rangers, and then in the semi-final, the winners of Leipzig Atalanta play the winners of Braga Rangers, and the winners of West Ham Lyon play either Eintracht Frankfurt or Barcelona. Now we're gonna. I mean, we're going to get through. Let's just have a look at Lyon again, mate, and talk about them very briefly, because we just did that a minute ago. Lyon, founded in 1950, has had more moderate success in the 60s. In 87, businessman Jean-Michel Aulas brought the team, aiming to make it one of the most successful clubs in French football. The following season, they qualified for the UEFA Cup. In the new millennium, their success grew, as well as being recognised for nurturing some great talent, such as Essien, Benzema, etc. They won their first league title in 2002, as well as reaching the latter stages of European competitions. They have a 59,000 seat stadium. 59,000. So we'll get. What's the capacity? We get. We get something like 10% or something like that. So we're going to get 5,000 tickets, 5,000 or 6,000 tickets.
Let's say just short of 6. Yeah, just short of 6,000.
League One winners. They won it 7 times in a row from two.
And
in the
there'll be a lot of West Ham going.
There'll be a lot of West Ham going. There'll be league winners, etc., semi-finalists.
Yeah.
Listen, it can't. That's not a bad draw. And then in the semi-finals, if we beat Lyon, we got either Frankfurt or Barcelona. What do you think, John?
Exciting times, mate, isn't it? Let's be honest with you. There's a couple of people in the chat saying that Lyon are better than Sevilla and all that. Lyon will be a tough. I can't see that for life or money.
Well, let's just finish.
It's a very winnable.
Gary, imagine if we won the Europa League, Leicester on the conference, and another English side won the Champions League, a Euro clean sweep. Dusty, I can't support other English teams in Europe. Let's just worry about our own. Absolutely. Good afternoon, Crosshammer. I'm not getting notifications for you. Is it just me? No, it is me. I need to find out a way on the new platform. It's my fault. So I'll work that out. Absolutely. Alashi, surely Barca will win the Europa League. Surely not. Zainal, Leipzig versus Barcelona. That ain't happening now because they're meeting each other. So they ain't. Oh no, they're not. They're Eintracht Frankfurt are meeting them. Well, it could be possible. But I don't think so. David, Leipzig are a well-run club. Only thing is they're a privately owned, which is the only club in Germany to have that. Do you not? You said it earlier, John, didn't you? People don't like the fact that they're a privately owned club.
No, I mean, look, we question Chelsea and Man City the way they've bought success, but this team have literally bought success beyond, any imagination you can come up with. They've literally created a team, took a team, changed the name, and bought everyone available. I know the rest of the German fan base, they absolutely hate them, basically.
Carol, you don't want to play it. Who? I'm guessing you're a Rangers fan, but we do want to play you in the final.
Yeah, in the final.
No, it hasn't been Barca, Frankfurt, Barcelona. We know that. Let's see what else we got. Let's scroll down to the bottom. Lyon caused us all sorts of issues from a Rangers fan. That's really interesting. So, got to be careful. They do have a good team. They do have a good team.
I don't listen.
Penny,
There'll be no complacency with Moyes. You know that for a fact. He ain't
exactly.
going to go into any game complacent. He will be well drilled, well oiled, and well organised, and he'll have watched many videos of these going forward now to get prepared.
Absolutely. Penny, it could have been worse. We can do Leon. Well, no reason why not. Yes, mate. See you Sunday. Graham, some big guns will be going out, and it's all gravy for us. It's good. It's good. It's good. Gary, semi-final winners of Leipzig, Atalanta, winners of Rangers, Braga. Yeah, we got that. Thank you, mate. Billy, Leon would demolish West Ham without a doubt. Ooh, okay.
Oh, wow.
The Seville team, West Ham beat, had many players missing. No. Ocampos was the only one. Lamela, ex-Spurs. I don't know. Do you think that's a reasonable statement for a Billy to make?
No, I think Billy, that was the first leg they missed on Rakitic and Martial, and they beat us with a weaker team. We beat their stronger team last night. Martial played, Rakitic played, El Nesri played. Those three big name players, they all got subbed off the pitch. That to me, that tells a story.
That tells a story. Billy carries on. They're a tougher team to beat than Seville, he reckons. I'm going to have to do find out about Leon over the next week or two. Billy again. Leon knocked out Man City from the Champions League in 2020. West Ham are in real trouble beating.
I'm guessing Billy's not a West Ham. I'm guessing Billy's not a West Ham fan. I don't know why he's getting that feeling.
Definitely not a West Ham fan. Barna, Champions League. Benfica versus Liverpool. Villarreal by. I don't care.
Mickey Mouse. It's a Mickey Mouse competition.
Don't care about the Champions League, to be quite honest.
Next season. That's next season.
That's it, mate. That's it. We're done. We got through it. John, thank you, mate. Really appreciate it.
That's all right, still. No worries. Thanks for
Lackeys reckons Leon are an easier. We don't know. So I'm going to do my research and I'm going to go and book my ticket for Leon because we're definitely getting a ticket for that. You going? Come on, John.
Yeah, I'd love to. I'm going to try. I am going to try and get a ticket. I don't think I will, but I'm definitely.
What's the date? Try. The date of the round is 7th and the 14th of April, isn't it?
Yeah.
I believe, yeah. So I'll be going out looking for my flights right now. John, much appreciated. No Good luck with the show tonight. If you haven't subscribed to Claret and Booze, do so. Lovely little channel with John and the Killington brothers. Even Nick has been happy today.
I know.
Even Nick has given Souček a 9.
He said he's never going to slag him off. He said he's never going to slag off Souček again.
Right. Just remind me. Let's just very, very, very briefly run through. So the highlights of last night for me. This man. Good grief. What a save.
Yeah. That was absolutely world class. That was absolutely, for someone who hasn't played a lot of football. We know he's played the cup competitions. We've questioned him a little bit. Kidderminster away in the cup, he was a little bit flappy, he looked a little bit lost. But that save yesterday was world-class reaction. It sort of came from behind Zuma as well. And that just, to me, showed the amount of upper body strength he has. That was absolutely superb. Not only to save it, but to push it away. That was a superb save. Absolutely
It was superb. And then this man, this looping header what a goal.
Yeah. I was calling out for that throughout the game. I don't think we was hanging up enough crosses to the back post. And the first time we did, we got the joy because they're not going to be used to this sort of football.
Yeah.
And it does come down to a lot of that British style against European style. Sometimes you just got to get the crosses in the box. Tippy-tappy football is all well and good, but sometimes you got to just put the ball in the box and let the big man attack it. And that was the first opportunity. I've got to say, fantastic cross from Antonio, digging it out of his feet.
We weren't just route one all game, were we? We played really well. I mean, there wasn't just route one.
No. I'm not saying we were, but in my mind, we should have been a bit more putting the balls in the box a little bit more because they weren't ready for it.
Yeah. And then it's a dream come true. Right. Yarmolenko in extra time, right place, right man, right place, right time. I don't know how you say it all, but I mean, great shot from Fornals for wanting to have a shot. Yeah. Their keeper, he
awful. That was awful. That was awful. That.
And then this man scored the winner.
Yeah, listen, I've not been his biggest fan. I've been critical of him, you know. But when the war started in Ukraine, I said, look, even I'm gonna, I'm not gonna criticise this man. He's got a lot going on, and let's be honest, most West Ham fans went a bit quiet on the criticising front.
They did.
And,
They did.
and it's become a fairy tale. Even if his career at West Ham now does nothing else, he's wrote himself into folklore. I know we haven't won anything and all that, but
No,
just
but
the story behind it all, the fairy tale behind it all,
absolutely, absolutely. How can we be critical of this man anymore? He keeps doing it, doesn't he?
I've never been critical of him still. I've never criticised him.
Well, there were people calling
Genuinely.
for his head a few weeks ago.
Mate, there'll be people there will be people calling for his head by the end of the season again. You mark my words about it.
Yeah.
There's no getting away from what he's done for this club. He has reinvigorated the club and the pride that we have being West Ham supporters, and other clubs not laughing at us anymore. That's what I think.
Exactly. Does this keep Declan?
He's not
the pride on his face last night when at the end of the game when he was being interviewed. Regardless of what happens, does Declan stay for another season?
Mate, the way he was bashing that Hammers badge, soon as the game ended, Noble jumped on his back. He walked towards the crowd and he joined in singing "I'm for Blowing Bubbles" with the crowd instantaneously. He said there's nothing like West Ham fans in his interviews. He knows we're a special breed. Genuinely, I've always said I think he'll stay one more season, and I still think he will. And after last night, I'll be surprised if he walks.
And then this man, I mean, he wasn't the only one that had tears in his eyes, mate.
Mate, you know what I feel about him. People will question his legendary status over things he may have not done in the past. But yes, he may not have had the opportunity to go anywhere else in his career. But at the end of the day, he's played over 500 games for us. He's more important now in the dressing room than on the pitch. Let's be honest. But he's still such an integral part of the club. And I've met him personally. He lives around the corner from me. He's a West Ham fan. So he's been playing for the club he loves since the age of 7. Legend.
That's it.
Yeah.
We are through to meet Lyon in the next round. The games are on the 7th and the 14th of April. We play the first leg at home. And then we go out to France, Lyon on the 14th of April. Get your passports ready. Start booking those flights. And, Sean, I agree. We're not losing 2 captains in one summer. We're not.
I agree,
mate, I better go because I think I've got.
Yeah, it's been getting me all day. It's been getting me all day still. Every time I watch something, I get all goosebumps and teary-eyed again. It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. It's just an incredible journey. This season is an incredible journey. Trini would have liked to say, I know, but it is what it is. But good. Thanks for joining, Dusty. Much appreciated. Right, let's go. John, once again, thank you very much. Good luck with the show tonight, and we'll see you all soon.